quick swig of some cherry bubbly.
Welcome back to the Fantasy Brothers podcast. It's Josh and Ben here on a Tuesday evening post Monday Night Football, where yet again more injuries have happened. Depression has set in. We've won, we've lost, and we are here
Maybe
with
you
you.
won.
You lost, I won. There we go.
This was one of. I'm trying to. This weekend was demoralizing for me, fantasy wise. I mean,
Oh yeah, Ben.
across double
Ben,
digit
how's your
leagues,
life? How are all the people in your
across double
life?
digit G leagues, I got one victory in a team where I just sold all my contending pieces
Hmm,
because the team's bad.
love that.
So of course they win in a week where I mean I didn't just lose this week, like I got stomped
Yeah,
everywhere. Literally
yeah,
everywhere. I got just bullied. It was
you
ugly.
did. And it was really funny because obviously we got the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl League, the league that is more valuable to us than any other. Um, the the team just didn't quite have it this week, and not only that, um, the team you went up against scored the most points in the history of the league, and it's a
Yeah.
7-year running league.
Yeah. Oh, it was bad.
In the seventh year, you just happened to go up against an absolute buzzsaw here in week 13.
I will say I was not winning this week regardless in that league.
No.
However, Josh Allen is on bye. Josh Jacobs on bye. Justin Jefferson coming off IR. Finally, praise the Lord, but he's on bye this week. And Austin Eckler, I acquired him 2 weeks ago in this league and has put up a grand total of 9 points
Mm.
combined over those 2 weeks. So this is just wonderful for me. Can you tell how
Oh,
happy I am? And in another one of our leagues, one of our favorite leagues, I've already secured the first round bye. So I guess it's kind of like a moot point this past week. But I wanted at least a decent showing, perhaps, and I still got monkey stomped. I mean,
remember when I had an absolute meltdown that you acquired Austin Eckler?
yeah,
I want to thank you, sir,
you okay
because
now?
you have
The
saved me
whole league
from
was pissed.
myself.
The
Everybody
whole
was
league
so
was
mad.
pissed. Like, how do you
Everybody
get
was so
Eckler?
mad.
That's a ridiculous trade. You got stupid value on him. You're just gonna run away with the league now. I'm like, bro, I've gotten smoked the past 2 weeks because of Austin Eckler.
You acquire Austin Eckler
I
is a
hate him.
curse on
I
you.
hate him. Hate, 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 double hate, loathe entirely. If you ever seen The Grinch, you'll know what I'm talking about.
You
Ah,
traded Nick Chubb in a first for Austin Eckler, only for him to enter your lineup, a team, mind you, that was a top 3 seed, and then he has
still is.
submarined your lineup 2 weeks in a row.
I mean, I didn't give up any points. I mean, I guess technically I
You
did
did
give up
not.
points because, like, Nick Chubb's out for the year and I paid a first to go try to win a championship this year. I should have just kept the players I'd had because all of them have outscored Austin Eckler.
It basically just increased your max points for number because
Jeez.
that little weekly report that Sleeper gives you where it says, here's how efficient you were with your start sit decisions. Basically
It
now
decreased my
Sleeper
efficiency. Yeah.
exactly. Sleeper's just looking at you saying, "Oh yeah, Ben can't pick his lineup right anymore because he went and got Austin Eckler."
I hate my life.
I just want to say, Jacob, I'm sorry. I was very mad at you because you took Ben's offer. I just want to say, if you're listening, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I was unhappy, but I think you saved me from myself because now Ben is saddled with the curse that is Austin Eckler, and I dodged it. So I just want to say I'm
And
sorry.
this is, I've lost multiple championships to Austin Eckler in the past. Finally get him on the team, and he is the reason I'm losing once again. Except this time, he's on the team.
Wouldn't it be absolutely poetic? And I hope this happens. I don't know if it will. But if we meet in the championship and the reason why I beat you is because Austin Eckler's in your lineup and he sucks, wouldn't that just be
You-
so great?
You will watch this gentleman jump into into an active volcano. That's what you'll watch.
Oh, man. Oh, what a week.
So I'm not
What a week
doing
it was.
well, in case you guys are wondering.
You're mentally unwell, is what you're trying
I
to
am broken. I am a broken man.
say. We haven't even hit playoffs yet. Whew. There were quite a few injuries this week.
I didn't even have anybody get hurt.
You didn't. This feels like the first
Nobody
week
got
in
hurt.
forever where we dodged the injury bullet. It feels like every week there's been a homing device on the injury
Dodged
bullet.
the injury
and it
bullet.
has-
And still got whooped.
and it's because of Austin Eckler, man. I'm telling you. It's the curse of Eckler.
Austin, if you're listening, I hope you don't ever come to South Carolina. Don't do it. I got people at the border waiting for you, my friend.
Oh, my goodness. Shall we hop into the news?
Let's do it.
We'll run through these because every single piece of news is injury related. So we're just going to go boom, boom, boom on
It's
these
all
things.
bad.
It's all bad. Trevor Lawrence sustained a high ankle sprain Monday night. Honestly, the way that play went, it's a blessing. It's just a high ankle sprain because that could have been an ACL very easily.
Yeah.
He's only going to
Most
miss a
likely.
few weeks. So could have been much worse. That leg just got pretzeled underneath him and a fat man fell on him and he turned out to only have sprained it. Good for him.
I still feel like he's gonna. I've seen reports like we're not ruling him out for next week. I'm like, there's no way the dude he couldn't
He's
walk
gonna
out
miss.
on his own power.
No.
Did you see where like he had to walk like off the field like all the way down the tunnel and they didn't have a cart?
He had to walk a mile
That's the
and they just
quarterback right here.
yeah.
like,
Can't you get
like
this
no,
man
just
a
hop
cart?
on one leg over to the X-ray room.
DK Metcalf could get a cart so he could poop. I mean, we could get a cart for Trevor Lawrence whose leg snapped.
DK had a turtle head going on and Trevor quite literally could not walk.
Did you see were you watching the game when it happened?
Yeah.
Did you see where they initially cut to him going into the tunnel and then they cut back later and he was still walking? And I mean, it was a
Still
very
going.
long time.
Someone go help this man.
It was a substantial amount of time and he was still walking to the point that I had forgotten about it. I was like, "Oh my gosh, he's still going." It's like watching a turtle
Please.
just creep along.
Get him a razor scooter or something. Like,
It was rough. Christian Kirk in that game as well suffered a core injury. He's going to miss multiple
first
weeks.
play of the game.
Yeah. You wanna know a
Maybe
fun
can
fact?
we finally get Ridley the ball? Is that possible?
You know where I was going with this. You want to know something really fun? Christian
Ridley
Kirk
only had,
caught
like, 2
one
catches?
pass. No. Christian Kirk caught one pass on the first play of the game, and he had more yards than Ridley, who played the entire rest of the game.
Yep. I believe that.
Oh, yikes.
It is quite foolish.
Calvin Ridley is incapable of doing good things when one other of their 3 receivers is out.
Yeah, that sounds right. Zay Jones is out. Calvin gets 2 catches a week.
Can't do it.
I don't know,
Christian
man.
Kirk goes out.
I don't know.
Calvin can't do anything. I don't understand, but
I don't know.
yeah, I don't know either. Ramondre Stevenson also suffered a high ankle sprain. He's probably going to miss a few weeks. If you were counting on
Oh,
him for
good.
your
The worst
playoff
offense
runs-
in the league loses their best player.
Yeah. I'm not even sure. I mean, I know waivers have already run, but I'm not even sure Zeke Elliott is worth rostering with this news either. Like, it's bad.
They may not score again this year.
They may not. They really might not. I think they what was it? Their defense in the last 4 weeks has held opponents under 10 points each week, and they've lost all of them.
Yeah, I think
All of them.
the past 3 weeks, I think I saw that stat was like they've given up 26 points,
That's incredible.
and they
And they're 0-3.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. Puka Nacua suffered an AC joint sprain. He got absolutely murdered. I don't know if you saw the play or not, but he died.
Lucky to be
He
alive,
ceased.
really.
He ceased to exist on the play where he injured his AC joint. But good news is he's probably going to play in Week 14, so he's fine.
Okay.
It looked rough, but he dodged a bullet there.
Okay.
Derrick Henry is not in the concussion protocol after it was reported that he was. Um, it did sort of look like he got knocked out on the field a little
It's
bit.
fine.
Apparently
They did
he's
knock
fine.
out Derrick Henry, trust me.
I watched the clip this afternoon because I just saw it pull up on Twitter because somebody was like, "How the heck is he not in the protocol?" And I watched the clip and his arms went limp. I mean, he got knocked out for a second there, and apparently he's not concussed.
He's too big. They didn't knock him out, trust me.
He was
That's
like, "No, I'm
Derrick
fine."
Henry. You don't knock out
Hey,
Derrick Henry. He
I
knocks you
guess
out.
not. I guess they were like, "We're gonna have to do some protocols here for the concussion," and he was like, "No, you don't. I'm fine."
What are you gonna make him? Derrick,
Yeah, are you
we're
gonna
requiring you. No,
are
I'm
you
not
gonna
going.
make him do his ABCs? No. He said, "I don't think so."
That is a big man. Like if you're going to make him go in concussion protocol, like you have to bring Aaron Donald, Nick Bosa, and DK Metcalf with you to like we have to take him.
As enforcers.
Going to do it, but as a big dude.
It's a big man. Christian Watson is going to miss probably the rest of the fantasy football season with a hamstring injury. Um,
He was kind of finally clicking with Jordan Love. Jordan Love's been balling low key.
he has. He really, and it's been Jaden Reed, Dontavian Wicks, Christian Watson's been stepping up. They've been doing all this without Aaron Jones too. That's kind of the fantastic thing about this.
Aaron Jones might be kind of a little washed. Don't say that too loud.
AJ Dillon hasn't exactly been lighting it up either. He's been playing that
Like
grinder
AJ
role,
Dillon
but
in the past couple years, like everybody's like, oh, as if Aaron Jones ever misses time, or this is finally the year they're gonna get rid of Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon's gonna be the guy. And like this is like 3 years in a row we've been saying this. It's not happening. AJ Dillon is not the guy.
he's not that guy, pal. He's not that guy.
He's not.
Kenny Pickett, he suffered a high ankle sprain on Sunday. He's already had surgery. He had surgery on Monday. I think it was a tightrope surgery. He's going to miss a few weeks. Great. Derek Carr was carted off with a concussion. We have
I,
3 starting quarterbacks out this week.
I don't hate Derek Carr. I want to say that, and I don't wish anything bad on him.
But aren't you so
But for
excited for
fantasy-
Jameis Winston?
For fantasy purposes, Jameis Winston is so much better.
Yes. Like,
Chris Olave may get like 15 targets a game.
Chris Olave might have 150 yards this week.
I do not
Would you
wish
start-
anything bad on Derek Carr, but I hope Jameson Williams starts. Or
Are you
Jameis
starting-
Winston.
Are you starting Chris Olave or Jalen Waddle this week now? With the news
Chris
that Jameis
Olave.
Winston will
Chris
start.
Olave.
Okay, yeah.
I was probably starting Olave over him anyway, but
Yeah, I keep waffling. I keep going back and forth on because those two are identical to me. Where it's like, in a given week, I have no idea. But
it's any given week. But I feel like Olave, just with him actually being his team's number one, just is a little bit safer or more reliable to do it. Whereas like
it's probably true.
Tyreek Hill just has his week. Like, all right, Tyreek's gonna get 18 targets this week. Jalen, you get
Yeah.
3.
Yeah, no, it's true. Olave just doesn't score. If he would score like, I don't know, 7 touchdowns in a season, you'd feel better about it. But like he's got like 3 or something right now.
You might score now.
He could still get to 17. I mean 7, sorry, but he's not getting to
17
17.
touchdowns.
He will get to 17
Crap.
touchdown, guys. Yeah, no. Final piece here. We saved the best for last. Tank Dell, the sun that shone so bright, he broke his leg. And apparently not only that, he had to get surgery on his ankle, or is scheduled to get surgery on his ankle as well. So it wasn't just a clean leg break. There was some ankle issues in there as well. He's out for the year.
Note to self: don't put the 165 receiver in the middle of 165-pound receiver in the middle of a goal line scrum. Don't do
Yeah,
it.
I I had that thought when I saw it happen. They were on like the 2 yard line. Damian Pierce scored on the play, and all the big hog mollies move out of the way, and then there's just this little tiny little child laying down in the middle of the pile, and it's Tank Dell, and you realize, one of these is not like the others. Maybe we should not have had him run blocking on the goal line.
You should not have. He's too small.
Have that man on the outside running a decoy route and bring in a tight end or something. I don't know, but
Yeah. Sucks. He's
it
been
does suck.
dominating with CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud's been awesome for fantasy. He's one of my waiver wire pickups wonders of the year. And I really hope this doesn't slow him down too much. It's going to hurt losing Tank Dell. We'll see how much.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't really miss a step after Tank Dell left. Nico Collins ended up with dang near 200
No, it was.
yards.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. Obviously, things will probably change. I mean, a little next season because it always does. Like say with Patrick Mahomes, like he's not going to have that 5,400 yards and 50 touchdowns like he did because defenses figure him out. You play him differently now. But it's like every drive. Sleeper, I don't know how you have your settings, but Sleeper on my phone, like whenever one of my players makes a big play, it gives me like a little update, like so and so just did this, gained 30
Yep.
yards, something like that. I'm like, it is every drive for the Texans. I get one of those little pings, made a big play. Pass to Nico Collins for 27 yards. Pass to Tank Dell for 37 yards. I mean, every drive.
Yeah. No, he has created a vortex there in Houston where they're going to be a top 5 passing offense for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
We're going to look at his number one receiver, and I say this hesitantly because I don't want you to miss what I'm trying to say. We're going to look at his number one receiver as like the Joe Burrow's number one receiver. And by that I don't mean they're Jamar Chase because Jamar Chase is a one of one, but I just mean like we're going to be throwing that guy, whoever that guy is, into wide receiver one must start top 12
No,
guy
I,
every single week kind of territory.
I do get it. Like they don't have a player of Jamar Chase's caliber because I mean, really, who does? Jamar Chase is Jamar Chase,
Right.
but he's whoever that guy is that needs to be that's his number one target is not Jamar Chase. Like we're not saying he's better than Jamar Chase, but he needs to be in like a top 10 receiver
Yeah. And maybe
because
they
he's
draft
playing with
somebody.
CJ Stroud.
Right. And we're going to talk about some rookies later on the show. Maybe they draft one of these receivers we're going to mention and, you know, he asserts
Again,
himself.
I don't think it will happen, but your
It
boy
may
here
not.
is so hopeful they go get T Higgins in free agency. I honestly don't think they will, but it is a dream that I have.
Yeah. I mean, I would imagine they might. They still very well might. And it's going to be a great passing offense. So I don't know. We'll see. But CJ Stroud is absolutely fantastic. Nice little tangent there. Um, okay, we've got league winners and we've got a little bit of a prospect breakdown here on the episode. How about we hop into some league winners? We're going to talk a little sunshine
I
and
like
rainbows
it.
here for a little bit. Kicking things off, we
If you
got
were
three names,
fortunate
and
enough to be in the playoff hunt,
yeah, three names, and then kind of a bonus name here. Um, Kyron Williams. It's we talked about his dynasty value, but I think what cannot be overstated is his redraft value, or at least what he's going to be this year and for the rest of this year. He's been fantastic. I'm going to read off a couple stats. Let me know how these land for you. Before his injury, he was the RB4 in points scored. Since he came back, granted it's been 2 weeks, he is the RB1. And he played 94% of snaps in week 13. So he's getting all the work, he's scoring touchdowns, and he's in an offense that apparently is capable of scoring 30 plus points every single week.
And his playoff schedule is not bad.
It's not. I didn't actually look. I should have done that. I really should have looked at the playoff schedules for all these guys.
So this coming week is a little bit tough. It's Baltimore, but after that they go Washington, New Orleans, and the Giants. I'll take that.
That's very nice.
I'll take that.
Even those guys who have Cooper Cup, I'm one of them. You're one of them.
I'm one of them.
You know, if you can skate by this week, like for example, in the granddaddy of them all, this is week 14 is the final week before playoff starts. So week 15 is the first playoff week. The Ravens matchup is obviously terrible, but it's not a playoff matchup. So if you can survive, maybe figure out some other option for Cooper Cup this week, then you go in week 15 against Washington, which is a fantastic matchup. Maybe you can play Cooper Cup then and all your Rams then, and it's just sunshine and roses.
I'm excited. Washington don't
I-
scare me.
Fingers crossed. But anyway, yeah, Kyron Williams came out of nowhere, absolutely nowhere, and he has been incredible, and he's going to continue to be incredible unless something very drastically changes.
Speaking of CJ Stroud,
Yeah, speaking of, this is the CJ Stroud boost, the Tank Dell injury
low-hanging
boost.
fruit.
It really is. It's Nico Collins. Even with Tank Dell, well, I mean, Tank Dell played 2 snaps or something like that this past Sunday, so bear that in mind. But over his past 4 games, Nico Collins, his finishes in half PPR are the wide receiver 11, the wide receiver 28, the wide receiver 6, and the wide receiver 4. And Tank Dell just exited the offense. So I think you're going to see Nico Collins getting targeted 10 plus times per game. And in that offense, with that quarterback, you can do the math.
Yeah, this one, like I said, kind of low-hanging fruit. He's a wide receiver 11 right now, and the wide receiver 1 from their offense just left. So, like you said, CJ Stroud's number 1 receiver. I want whoever that is. And right now,
Yeah.
it's Nico Collins.
Yeah, and I mean, they're going to get other guys involved. It won't just be Nico. It's not like he's just going to have a homing device on Nico Collins. I mean, they're going to get Dalton Schultz. They're going to get Robert Woods. They're going to get, what's the dude that was injured that came from the Cowboys? I cannot remember his name.
Brandon Cooks.
No.
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 Crap.
I can't remember his name for the life of me. It doesn't matter. You're going to have other names get involved here in the offense. So Nico Collins, I think, will just be sort of the tip of the spear a little bit. But if you've got him, I would be excited.
Yes.
Last name here before we get into the bonus. And this should come as a surprise to absolutely nobody. Devon Achane. This sounds incorrect, but I promise you it is true. Every game he has played more than 10% of the snaps, he has scored 20 plus fantasy points in half PPR scoring. That cannot be true, and yet it is. He's also scored a touchdown in every game he has finished the game healthy. That is wild.
I still have to plant my flag here. This efficiency cannot keep going.
Well,
can't.
funny you should mention that because the efficiency did come down to earth a little bit this past week. He just happened to score 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, but he scored 2 touchdowns, so I would consider that still part of it.
I don't know. I mean, yes, 2 touchdowns is not going to happen every single week, but like, can he score a touchdown every week? Yeah. David Montgomery scores a touchdown every week. And I think we just expect that. But like with this Dolphins offense, they get the ball to their playmakers. They score a lot of points. And Devon Achane is just a freak. So I don't know. Like, I don't think you can predict with certainty he's going to score every week. But like, if you had to bet on it, like right now, if I were to go bet on Devon Achane scoring a touchdown, I would bet that he would score at least 1 touchdown this upcoming week. Am I going to bet that he's going to have 200 yards rushing every week? No, because that is ridiculous. But like, can he have 70 yards rushing and a touchdown plus another 20 yards receiving? Yeah.
I'm with you. It's, but he's been doing it so far. Yeah. Only thing of note is his playoff schedule, not amazing.
No, it's not.
We go Tennessee, which some leagues start their playoffs this week, some leagues don't. So Tennessee this week, week 14, they can be stingy. Then you get the Jets in week 15. Jets are very good. Then Dallas, then Baltimore. So three
My
top level
pushback-
defenses, but
Yeah.
he's been doing it so far.
Yeah, he is very tough. And we've talked about it at length about just like how difficult it is to project him week to week because you're right, he has been incredibly efficient and he's been in an offense that is like historically efficient, running the ball and passing. But at the same time, it just keeps happening. And like, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me kind of thing. Like if it keeps happening, I don't know. I feel like at a certain point, I would be foolish not to just say, okay, he's really good, and just kind of leave it at that.
I know you're far more in on him than I am, so I will cede this to you.
Yeah, I have always been in on him. It's the one flag plant that I can feel like, okay, it worked. I don't know. I don't know exactly how that happened. I was on an island there, but I guess it worked.
So far I've been wrong.
He's probably going to break his leg next week.
I don't want that to happen.
I'm just
I
saying
don't wish that on him.
my luck is so bad. That's
Yeah, it's
probably
my
what's
luck
going to
then.
happen.
Yeah, you have.
Our our bonus name here is one Bijan Robinson. Since you are our resident Atlanta Falcon, give us the case for Bijan Robinson as a league.
I make the case here because when we were putting this list together, you were like, "Well, you drafted Bijan high." I'm like, "Yes, you did." But when you drafted Bijan, you were hoping for Christian McCaffrey, not what he has been, which is still a running back 12, but just not what you're hoping for. However, his usage has seen a steady increase. He's getting over 20 touches a game now, which he has not been doing previously throughout this season, and just plus playoff schedule is great. So maybe, people have been low on him, but I think he is going to finish this season hot as a firecracker. With his usage up, he gets Tampa, Indianapolis, and Chicago. Especially those last 2 weeks are juicy championship matchups.
Yeah.
And if Bijan's getting over 20 touches a game, he's going to pop off.
That's the contingent piece. Is his usage going to be what you would expect? And if it is, I agree. He's going to be absolutely insane. And it has been trending up. Like, I don't know what was said inside the building, but something changed.
Somebody
in
sat
his
Arthur
usage.
down and said, "If I ever see that happen again, you're not going to get fired. You're going to get executed. It's what's going to happen. You're going to get a firing squad."
Yeah, maybe it was.
Now I
Arthur
need somebody to
Blank
have
came
that
in
same
there.
conversation with him about Kyle Pitts. Then we'll be golden.
Yeah, the owner came in there. Mr. Blank said, "I know you're the heir to FedEx, but I will end your life if you do not start."
I'm
using all
still
these
worth
high
more
draft
money
picks."
than you are.
Yeah, he was like, "You're still a little man on campus when it comes to me." His usage has kind of taken a big jump up and to the right, which is good to see. That's what we've been waiting for.
I'm happy. I finally got Bijan in. We might have mentioned this on the pod. I finally got Bijan a few weeks ago. In one league. Only league I've got him. I'm just happy. I'm happy to have him.
How nice did it feel once you got him and then he immediately went and scored like 7 points?
No, I think the first week I got him, he scored like 25. It was great.
Okay.
I was like, yes, here we go. This is what I was hoping for. This past week he sucked, but I already locked up a playoff spot, so we're good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, free and clear. He's probably going to be the RB1 over the playoffs, and it's going to be like,
Also got
well,
Alvin Kamara in the deal, so felt okay with it.
golly. I remember
It was a
this. I remember you talking about this
big
deal.
swing.
You went after it. You had to pay up to get it. Didn't you pay? Was it a bunch of draft capital? Is that what it was?
Mostly draft capital, like 3 first rounders and Khalil Shakir, and I got Bijan and Alvin Kamara.
That's right. And that week, of
What's
course,
crazy
Khalil
is the
Shakir
guy I
had his
traded
30
Bijan,
point
I
week.
got Bijan from. He's a rebuilder, and he proceeded to beat me the next week because of Khalil Shakir.
Because Khalil Shakir went and had 30 points on you.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Ah,
Uh, all right. Speaking of rebuilders, I guess we should talk about a couple of these 2024 prospects.
college football's about
Um,
over. It is time to talk dynasty.
into them in much more depth in the offseason. But for now, these are some names that you should just have on your radar as we get into dynasty
Yeah,
season.
definitely preliminary rankings.
Yeah. So we sorted these names into some tiers. Again, preliminary. But lead us off, Ben. Just hit us with tier one. Who hops into that top tier in Superflex rookie rankings?
Tier one, if you've played Dynasty for a year, you still will know these names. These names are not surprising at all. Either Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison. I don't know if you mentioned this. I wasn't paying a ton of attention. I'm sorry, but we are doing this based on Superflex. So these are Superflex rankings. Even with it being Superflex, I got Marvin Harrison Jr. right next to Caleb Williams. I think he is an absolutely smash, can't miss prospect up there with a lot of Jamar Chase, Calvin Johnson, those level of prospects. I mean, he is size, speed, route running, hands. He's the entire package. He's going to step onto an NFL team and immediately be their wide receiver one.
Yeah.
And then Caleb Williams, I mean, there's not much to say. He is people people throw the term around Patrick Mahomes. I don't want to say it yet, but I mean, he's something that could be special at the NFL level with in terms of his arm talent, his ability to make plays off schedule. Um, he's very mobile. Um, yeah, he's a total package at quarterback.
Yeah, I really hope that Caleb Williams goes to a situation where he's going to have a coach that can like mold him, that can refine the rough edges because there are some rough edges, but just the talent is
What about New
so
England?
obvious. Oh god. You just want him to go to a place like I saw it floated out there this past week that the Chicago Bears would have interest in Eric Bieniemy. If Eric Bieniemy is the Bears coach and they take Caleb Williams at one, that would be
Oh
ideal.
my gosh.
Just a guy who can mold this freak of nature talent into an NFL stud. You just don't. He's so good. There's so much there. You just hope that it gets maximized because he is a true freak of nature. He's incredible.
Yeah. Oh, I 100% agree. At tier one, I just don't think there's much to talk about. Like we know who's
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Tier two, we've got three names in there right now. Again, this will most likely change.
Oh
So
yeah.
you put an asterisk in all these tiers. But anyways, in tier two right now we have Drake May, Brock Bowers, and wide receiver from LSU, Malik Neighbors.
I will be honest. I'm not 100% sold on Drake May. I don't know if I love him yet. But just as a prospect, I mean, he's big, he's mobile, he's prototypical NFL build. NFL scouts like him. Obviously, I don't love his college tape record. We'll see. I mean, it's so much harder for people like us to evaluate quarterbacks. Like you can
Yeah.
watch film and tape and stuff like that, and even people like us who are not we're not talent scouts by any means, but it's easier to evaluate receivers running backs, things like that, because you can look at the athletic talent and the speed and all this stuff on tape and the competition, and you're like, okay, yeah, this guy's good. There's so much more that goes into evaluating quarterbacks. So even though like I may personally not like some of the things I see, I'm not a quarterback evaluator. So if the NFL guys and the guys who do this and get paid lots of money to do this come out here and say Drake May is legit, they like this guy, I'm okay with it. Like I'll lean on him.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch any amount of game film from Drake May, and I happen to be a NC State fan, and so we get to play Carolina every year. So I have seen Drake May play State twice now, and in both games, for and some of this is just due to the fact State does have a very good college defense. So I don't know. Do with that information what you will. But Drake May, for long stretches in these games that I have seen, he's looked pretty rough, but there's always a flash or a 3 or 4 play sequence, a single play where it's like, oh my goodness, I get it. I understand why everybody's drooling over this guy because he'll make a throw that nobody should be able to make. He'll put a ball in a place that it's like, that was ridiculous.
Oh,
And
he's got a Justin Herbert arm.
dude, he's got more than a Justin Herbert arm. He's got like
Whoa, 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 whoa.
he
whoa.
is
Let's
if
let's
if
back
you
off.
can
Have you ever seen
unlock
Justin
this
Herbert
one,
throw a football?
I have. But if you can
I've seen that
unlock
man
this
almost
guy,
kill Keenan Allen a few times.
if you can unlock this guy, if you can polish this diamond successfully, it's Josh Allen. That is like the high end of what he could be. Now,
And
is
he's
he
got rushing
exactly,
ability too. That's what
yes,
people don't tend to talk about.
yeah. So, he's not a 1 for 1, but like if it goes right, if everything goes according to plan, he is Josh Allen. He's crazy, crazy good. So,
Yeah.
granted, it could also still not work out and he could not pan out, but the tools are there.
Be
So I
Mitchell
get it.
Trubisky.
Exactly. It could not go according to plan, but if it does, he's going to be freaky.
Yep.
Brock Bowers.
And yeah. Oh.
Let me read off his stats. He's played 3 seasons. He's a tight end, mind you. His freshman season, he went 56 for 882 yards and 13 touchdowns. Good Lord. His sophomore season, he went 63 catches for 942 yards, 7 touchdowns, another 100 yards, and three touchdowns rushing. This year, factoring in the injury, he is 56 for 714 and 6, another touchdown rushing. Sweet goodness.
Not bad.
Sweet goodness.
Ed.
He's freaky, Ben.
Yeah, people, and by the end of this process, we may have him up there too. He could get into the tier 1, like the 103 behind Marvin Harrison. Like he's that good, especially in
Yeah.
like a tight end premium league. Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean his value at the next level is going to come down to where does he land, because tight end value at the NFL level, in my mind, is largely based on what sort of offense are you going into. Are you going to an offense where they utilize the tight end in the pass game? If they do, you would be a fool to draft Brock Bowers and not use him in the pass game, but we have seen it happen with the Falcons. where you
I was
draft a
just
guy
about
high
to
and don't
say
use him.
I was just about to say that exact same thing. Like, if you're not drafting Brock Bowers not to use, like, well, hold on, Arthur Smith.
Yeah, it could happen. I hope it doesn't. But Bowers is that kind of talent where like he could be something special.
He can break fantasy football.
He could. Malik Neighbors is also in this tier for us, and
Love Malik Neighbors.
this season, I think you were higher on him earlier than I was, but I've watched a little bit, and he's insane.
I've been on Malik since going into this offseason. High, so not that you were wrong or to brag, but I'm just like I like Malik Neighbors. I've liked him for a while. I think he's really good.
Yeah. This season, he's currently sitting on 86 for 1,546 and 14.
Yeah, he put up Jamar Chase, Odell Beckham numbers at LSU.
Yeah. He has, well, his worst game this season was week 1 against Florida State was 6 for 67. He has 3
That's
games
worst
this
case.
year.
That's the worst.
Yeah, he's got 3 games this year under 100 yards. 3
I
under
liked I
100
liked
yards.
him. I liked. Now this is going back a while, and obviously it changed once everything went south. But I liked Kayshawn Boutte, and I thought it was like because Jaden Daniels is bad, like that's why he's not succeeding. No, Jaden Daniels was really good this year, and much can be attributed to Malik Neighbors and him being awesome.
Yeah, and Malik Neighbors outproduced Keishawn Butte last year at LSU too. So
Yeah,
he's a different animal.
Malik Neighbors is legit.
Yeah, he's also 6 foot, 200 pounds. So he's that height and weight that you would like from your outside
So he's
wide
built like
receivers.
Jamar Chase.
Yeah, he's built like Chase.
Why
He's
LSU
gonna be
keeps doing
freaky.
this? They get that receiver.
Yeah, no,
They've
if
gone
he
from
goes and
Odell to
runs,
Chase to Neighbors. Like, how are you getting the same guy every time?
if he goes and runs a high 4.3, low 4.4 at the combine, it's over. He's gonna be freaky. So yeah,
Me off a cliff not to put him in tier one. I'm like, oh my god. I'm not taking him
yes,
over Marvin Harrison, but good lord.
yeah, no, he's fantastic. In tier 3, we've got what do we have?
A
Four
lot of guys.
names, 5 names. Um, since it's Superflex, we have Michael Penix in here. Um, I don't know how
There's
you
I
feel
feel
about.
like there's a lot that people will talk about. Like,
Yeah,
I'm still not a huge fan of Jaden Daniels as a prospect, but with his rushing ability, I love him for fantasy. You got Michael Penix, and like people talk about like Bo Nix and stuff too. Obviously, Gamecock fan. I like Sir Rattler. I mean, I like his talent, just pure
yeah,
talent. Like he can throw off platform and spin the ball like a off brand Patrick Mahomes. So I feel like in the third round of rookie drafts, an NFL team's going to take a shot on him. I feel like in
yeah,
third round rookie drafts, you can get him too.
yeah. Some of this is. I don't know how you feel about it, but there are 3 quarterbacks that I think have somewhat separated themselves from the pack in terms of projecting them to the NFL. JJ McCarthy has not shown anything to me that says he's a great NFL quarterback.
I've
Jaden
never loved JJ
Daniels,
McCarthy.
yeah, Jaden Daniels is an interesting. He's an interesting prospect because there's tools there, but I think some of it is he's playing for LSU. He's in an offense that just sort of leans into what he does well. And like, yes, he's putting up ridiculous numbers and he might win the Heisman for all we know. But I'm not sold yet on him as at the next level. Bo Nix as well. Like he's in a very friendly offense. The throws that he makes are easy. I just
Yeah.
haven't seen him have to like pick apart a defense and do it successfully for a whole game. Um,
This
I don't
feels
know.
like a cop out because I think they could truly win a game with me at starting an NFL quarterback. And hear me out. But and I'm not saying they should get rid of their current starter, but like obviously based on what's happened, Bo Nix is an awesome system quarterback. If you put him in like San Francisco or somebody like that, I think he is probably more talented than Brock Purdy or somebody like that. Like I feel like
Yeah.
Shanahan, you put him in a system that works like that, he would be really well. But there's caveats because obviously he has to go to a system like that to succeed.
Right. Yeah. So there's a lot of asterisks next to a lot of these names. I think Penix feels like the guy that is the most projectable. He's got a big arm. He's produced more than one season. Um, he produced at Indiana before he even went to Washington. He was putting up crazy numbers. He dealt with a lot of injuries. He goes to Washington and then for 2 straight years has been just
I
ridiculous.
mean, he's got Washington as potentially the best team. Like
Yeah.
people got Michigan at one. I honestly think Washington deserves to be in that one slot because they have played the hardest schedule in the country.
Yep.
They have put up better numbers than like every other team in the playoff, like offensively, all this stuff. So harder schedule. plus they're putting up better numbers. Like they legitimately should be the number one team.
Yeah. A lot of this will depend on what are our combine numbers that we're working with. You don't want to put too much stock into a pro day, but like what's the arm strength here? Like truly how freaky are these guys? And that might separate a little bit. And obviously we're just gonna rip into these dudes over the next few months as we sort of like nitpick every little thing. Um, but yeah, Penix looks very good. Um, a
Handful of
four pack of
receivers.
receivers. There's so many receivers here, but
This
the
is this
four
is a
names,
great receiving class.
it's fantastic. I think the four other names that could be potentially fantasy valuable here are Xavier Worthy, Emeka Ibuka, Keon Coleman, and Rome Adunze. Um, I think all four of them could end up being wide receiver ones at the NFL level.
I will throw another name. This is going to be another again. It's a you're going to call me a homer, but legitimately the guy could be is talked about as a first round pick. But Xavier Legette from South Carolina, 6'3",
Yeah,
big, got a vertical. He's going to run a 4.340 at the combine. He put up huge numbers in a terrible offense with Spencer Rattler. I mean, he's potentially going first round. Like, can you imagine the Chiefs get him like late
yeah,
first?
yeah. Height, weight, speed freak. I think the one name that'll get talked down in the draft process is Xavier Worthy. He's 170 pounds. He doesn't have just like
Look at
goofy
Tank Dell.
numbers. Yeah, but Tank Dell had two straight seasons of 1,300 yards in college,
True.
and
This is true.
Xavier Worthy on a playoff team. Texas is 12-1. He hasn't yet hit 1,000 yards. So maybe I mean by the time the season's over, he'll hit 1,000. But like, it's just not
You
quite
know,
that same level of freaky. You know?
I think I agree. I like Coleman. I like Ibuka all better than him right now. But he's a good player. He's in this conversation with those guys.
Yeah. The other guy here is Rome Odunze, the wide receiver one for Washington, and he has put together a couple pretty crazy seasons for the Huskies. Um, let's see, last year it was 75 for 1,145 yards and seven touchdowns. This year he upped it. It's 81 for 1,428 yards and 13 touchdowns. He also is 6'3", 215. So he checks the measurables boxes.
Yeah, there's a lot of big
Um,
physical receivers in this class.
yeah. There were not receivers checking the measurables boxes in this past the 2023 class, and there were still quite a few guys that came out and have been really, really good. So if we can get some guys that check that
Like
wide
pretty much
receiver
all of
one
them, except
prototype,
for Quentin Johnston.
yeah,
Almost all of them.
yeah, a lot of them have been very, very good. And the one guy, the the one guy who fit the wide receiver one prototype sucks. The rest of them are
The guy who
great.
went with the most prototypical and went to the best situation is the worst in the class.
Who'd have thunk it? Um, yeah. So beyond this tier three, there's a lot of names at running back, and it is murky waters
Not
here.
it's not a good class. I mean, there will be one or two guys. I mean, like they're always that'll end up either a good situation or like they pop. You're like, oh shoot, I didn't realize this guy ran a 4.3 or something like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean it's oof.
There's one name that over the past couple weeks, as I've been looking at these running backs, trying to figure out which one is actually going to be good, because I think there will still end up being a couple of these guys that end up being fantasy relevant. Um, the problem is there's a lot of names, and I don't know that all these guys will translate. The names we've got here: Jonathan Brooks, Marshawn Lloyd, Blake Corum, Trey Benson, Travion Henderson, Mayan Williams. They're I'm not fully sure or convinced that any of these guys are going to be impactful NFL running backs. There's one name though out of this group that I think could be really good. The problem is Jonathan Brooks just tore his ACL this season for Texas. But prior to tearing his ACL, he had 1,100 yards, 25 catches for 286 yards, 11 total touchdowns. So there's something there. He also is, what is he, 6 foot, 207 pounds is what he's listed at.
But he may not be ready for start of next season.
Yes, we're not going to get combine numbers from him. He's probably going to slip in the draft. He might be like a third round, maybe a fourth round pick. So draft capital
Maybe
will
he
be
flies under the
interesting.
radar and is a steal.
Exactly. He could be. I don't know what would a comp be for somebody like that, but
I got to do more in depth stuff. I haven't watched a ton of film on him,
yeah,
so I don't have my comp yet. I
I don't either.
don't dislike Travion Henderson. I think he's kind of a thumper, but I mean, could be good.
Yeah, he's just
Marshawn
dealt with so many
Lloyd,
injuries. Yeah,
yeah,
Lloyd's good. A lot of these guys could turn into something,
yeah.
and I think
Lloyd was a 5-star coming out of high school. Tore
yeah,
his ACL year at South Carolina. Then, I mean, after that, he really struggled to get back from the ACL second year, and then the offense, his third year was just absolutely abysmal. So he transfers to USC, Southern Cal, not USC, which is South Carolina. Transfers to Southern Cal and finally gets to show what he's got. So I do think he's a good player, super talented coming out of high school, but there's a lot of questions about him. So
yeah,
I
yeah. I don't know. I think a lot of these guys, it's going to come down to combine numbers and draft capital, and that'll sort all these names into where they should
yeah,
be.
you'll know what you should look for in running backs. You'll find it, but there's no there's no blue chip prospect this year. Like there's no Brees Hall, there's no Bijan, there's
Right.
not even a Gibbs or a Kenneth Walker this year.
Yeah. There's a lot of dudes. So I think that about wraps up this prospect breakdown. Is there anybody else we want to talk about? I'm sure there's more
Uh,
names that will come up as we go, but
there's a lot of names. We will do another rookie draft kit again, so you will get far more in-depth breakdowns. We will go into it much more in the offseason. This is kind of just the preliminary. Here's the top guys. Here's keep a lookout for. Just to get the bug in your ears and get the dynasty wheels churning.
yeah. In the meantime, playoffs are coming. If they haven't started for you already, I think for a lot of people they start this coming week or week 15, right?
Yeah, usually. It depends on like if they do how many teams they do and if they do like the first round bye.
Yeah. it's like
I got a
it's
first
like
round bye.
Game of Thrones. Winter is coming. The playoffs are on their way, and
I'm probably not going to win anything this year.
I am also in the same sort of thing where I'm trying to temper expectations and just be I don't know like
Ask me
surprised if
ask
it
me
goes
2 3
well.
weeks ago, I would have felt okay. I'm like, oh yeah, I got some dudes, I got some squads. The past 2 weeks have been brutal for me.
Yeah, I haven't had a single like dominant team this year. There's been quite a few teams in the mix, just not one
I
team
th-
that has
I thought I
separated.
was going to have some dominant teams. I really did. And then all I've turned out is like I've got some pretty good teams.
Yeah, yeah. It's
They're
you've got
good.
good
They win,
players,
they win weeks, but
but I don't know if it's an all the way sort of team yet. Um,
yeah,
we'll see.
none I feel confident in.
We shall see. We'll see you guys next week, or yeah, I think we'll see you guys next week. Uh,
I hope so. Something tragic
I hope
happens.
so. Unless there's another serious injury and we actually do take ourselves up on the offer to jump off a bridge.
Yep, this is it. We'll we'll put something on the Instagram story to let you know it's coming. Maybe a
Yeah,
link to the live stream.
yeah. Yeah. So if you're checking us out on audio, rate us and review us wherever you're listening to the show. It helps us out a ton. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe, hit the little notification bell there so that you can be notified whenever we go live or when an episode is posted. And that'll do it from us. We'll see you in the next one.
Peace.